Okay, we're recording. Yay! I wanted to, oh, thanks, TJ. You're the best. You always tell me how to mute and unmute and do all the things. You're so technological. I love it. Okay, so I wanted to talk all things waiting room and red leg because you guys, the waiting room feature of this company is the best thing they could ever possibly do for us. This is a tool that we have. A lot of times people view it as scary or like something that can hurt them, but it's actually supposed to help you. So if you're watching this and you're new, or if you're watching this and you're not 4K rank yet, this might seem confusing to you, but we're going to save this recording for the future because you will need this in the future. This is important for everybody to know. But once you hit 4K and you're moving on, this information is so important because the waiting room helps you grow your team. So, for example, I'm going to give you a little example of how the waiting room worked for me in my business. When I first started, obviously hit the ground running. I've told you guys that plenty of times. That's just how I happened to start the business. And when I got to my second month, I was working with someone to help get them to 4K. Tammy showed me the waiting room. She showed me how I can move this $400 under somebody else to help her get to 4K. And I had no idea what I was doing. I literally just did what she told me to do because she's my leader and she would know. So I just did it, right? Meanwhile, she was helping me too. So she saw me hustling. She saw me working. She saw me putting the work in, helping people get to their rank. And she was like, you know what? We're going to get you to 12K. I had no idea. So she moved volume from her under me and it helped me get to 12K. So the biggest thing that you want to do here is when you're choosing people to give volume to, you want it to be somebody who is working the business, who is going to continue to work the business, who is all in and who is like here for it. Because you can really red leg somebody, which is another conversation we're about to have, if you don't place people under the right spot. I know this full and well because I did that with my husband. I've moved him under somebody else and he red legs her often. And I've moved people under him and now he's red legged really big. And actually, Tay, it was your team that I moved under Russell. So you red leg him hardcore. So think about it this way. He doesn't work his business. He's my account, right? Like he doesn't work it. And that's fine. But I placed Tay under him with the intentions of him putting in some work or me working his account. And I just never did. I just always worked my account. I was always focused on getting a retreat or a lifestyle getaway or something. So I stayed in my account without working and building his. And now, Tay, you're like at what, $20,000? And yeah, 21. Okay. Well, all of that volume is placed under him. So you would think he would be there too, but he's not. He's not even 4K because that team makes up so much of his volume. It would be impossible to get him, you know, not impossible. I would just have to 100% work only his business for all new people. And it would just be time consuming. It's definitely a goal that I have. But at the same time, I'm more excited about Tay's team being so successful that it really doesn't bother me because, you know, their team's rock stars. Like, I'm happy about it. So that's why you don't want to move somebody under somebody that it could hurt them. If he was an actual person who was trying to work, but he was struggling, and I put somebody under him who was successful and it made his work look like nothing, he would be discouraged and he would probably just quit. Like he would just think like, there's no way I can ever catch up to this. So just forget it. So you don't want to hurt someone on your team that way. That's why you really want to make sure when you're moving volume under somebody, you're not moving $3,000 under somebody who's trying to go 4K because you're going to red leg them and then doesn't even matter. They won't even get there. That's definitely not what you want to do. So that's just a little history of how the waiting room has helped and hurt me both ways. It helped me get to 12K, but it's hindering my husband from getting to even his 4K. So you just want to be really smart about it and really think about what we're doing before we move. Typically what happens is every single month we sign new promoters, right? We're in the VIP mindset. We're getting new customers. We're getting new promoters. We should always be bringing in new promoters to our business for this reason, so that we have waiting room volume that we're able to help our team members with. So every month we should have waiting room volume sitting in our waiting room report, and it will tell you how many days left and how much volume is there. Once you know what's in your waiting room, you should know in your head already who is on your team that's running, because these are people who are in your inbox. These are people who are messaging you constantly. These are people putting you in group chats. These are people who are showing up in your reports as, I have a new customer. These are people who you know they're working. So you go back in your waiting room and you see what's in there. Then you go to your reports of your sponsorship downline, and you look to see where the people are that have been working. So if you already have Sally in mind because she's blowing up your chat, and you already know you have waiting room volume, say you have $700 in volume under one person in your waiting room, and Sally's in your sponsorship downline, she's your level 1, and she's trying really hard to get to 4K. And she has, I'm just gonna say this because I'm not very good at math, so I'm gonna keep it simple. Let's say she already has $3,000 in volume, and she's hustling, and she's discouraged because she's like, man, there's only 6 days left. There's no way I can do $1,000. And she's just kind of bummed, like, man, I've been pushing and I've been pushing, but there's no way I can get it. And she's kind of like, oh, what do I do? And she's still working and she's still reaching out. Well, you have $700 of volume under one person in your waiting room. So you have the opportunity to take that $700 and move it to Sally's team. Now, the big question I always get is, well, then what happens to her? Will I not get her commission anymore? Will I not be responsible for her anymore? Literally nothing changes for you. She is still your level 1. Whoever's in your waiting room will always be your level 1 in your sponsorship downline. Once you move them under somebody else, they will look different on your placement downline. Now, once you move that $700 to Sally, let's say the $700, that person's name is John. Okay, so John has $700 in volume. He is, I don't know, let's just say he's half in, half out. He doesn't know if he wants to just get his product for free. He's just kind of like wishy-washy. So you are gonna move him to Sally. Now say he doesn't really work the business, but when they do the double, triple commission bonus again, he wants to take advantage of that. You are still responsible for getting that commission. Like, you still get his commission, even though you placed him under Sally. So in your placement downline, he's different, but your sponsorship downline will still be the same when you move people around. So you move John under Sally. Sally has no idea until you tell her or she logs into her cloud office. So this is the fun part. You move $700 under Sally. It's August 26th. Let's say we wait until the 26th, which I'll tell you why I would wait in a second. But you move him under her, and then you call Sally and you say, listen, I know you've been working really hard. I appreciate all of your hard work. I know you have huge potential here, and I really want to see you grow. So I want you to log into your back office and look at your totals. And she's going to be like, okay, like what? Like, why would I? Okay. So she goes, she logs in, and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm at $3,700. Now she has the rest of the month to get $300 in sales to get her 4K. That $700 in volume counts for her volume, but it didn't leave your volume because she's still your downline. So that $700 stays with you. Your volume doesn't change, but hers changed because you just helped her. You just moved volume under her. Now, if John had $6,000 in volume and he was sitting in your waiting room for some reason still, and you moved him under her, that would hurt her because he has more volume than she does. That would not have a balanced team for her. You want to have a balanced team. So the reason why we moved him under her is because he only has 700, she has 3,000. So he's not gonna hurt her in any way. And he's not like trying to run after a car bonus tomorrow. So he's not gonna bread like her next month either. And it's going to help her this month. Whoever you can help get to 4K this month is priority, because these people are going to get, I'm sorry, my phone's ringing. These people are going to get $1,000 in credits. These $1,000 in credits only last for 2 months. They expire. They get them in September and they expire in November. So they only have 2 months to spend these $1,000 in credits. That's $1,000 in volume for you. So Tay, you're sitting at 3 people on your team who already earned this. Like, that's $3,000 in volume next month to go towards your next goal. Like, whatever your goals are, you have to think bigger with this 4K thing, because when people get to 4K, that's credits that's going to help you. Like, this is huge. So, the reason why I like to wait until the 26th of every month to do this is because auto ships change everything. If Sarah waited until, okay, so Sarah has $3,000 in volume, for example. So if you move volume to her today, what if she has an auto ship tomorrow and she would have got it anyway on her own? Then you would have been able to use that $300 or $700 to help someone else. You might have somebody else, she might get $3,400 in volume after auto ships tomorrow. Then you could have somebody with less than $700 to move to her to help her, so you can use that $700 to help somebody else. So I always wait until after the auto ships, because then you'll have a better idea of how their rate of run is. You can look to see how close they are to their goal, and then you can determine how much volume you want to move under them. The whole point of the waiting room is to help people get to their goal. So I don't like to wait until the day before either, because if it was me and I was sitting at $3,000 and I'm trying to get to 4K and it's the 26th and there's 31 days in the month, if you send me $700 and I only need to get 300, you better believe I would want to work as soon as possible to get there, instead of waiting until the last day to try to get $300 in one day. So I love working waiting room the day after auto ships, so you can really see where all the volume is. There's no more auto ships coming in. That's it. This is the final push. Let's do it now. And I always try to move people right after auto ships. Plus, that's the fun part, you guys. Month end magic is my favorite, because that's when waiting rooms get moved, and that's when people realize, oh my gosh, I actually can do this. I actually can get close to my goal. So build your team up. Find the people who are really pushing and really are working and really would appreciate if you sent them the volume, and use it to get them to their goal. You don't want to send it to somebody who's just trying to get their product for free. They're not going to care, and they're not going to work hard to get to their goal. You want to pick people who are going to take that volume you sent them and really try to get to their goal, especially with the 4Ks right now. I wouldn't really move volume to help somebody else unless they're like super close to the next rank. So if you have somebody who's sitting at $6,000 in volume on the 26th, and you have $200 in volume in your waiting room, it's really not going to help that person get to 12K, but it could help somebody get closer to 4K. So that is definitely something you want to keep in mind. Now, if somebody's sitting at $11,200 and you have $200 to send them, that's when you would send it to that person, because then they're even closer to 12K. And of course you want them to get their auto bonus. Hello, that's the best, that's the best rank. So you definitely want to help them in that situation. But this month, for this situation, we want as many 4Ks as we possibly can create. This has been the first time I've ever seen them do this. $1,000 in credits is amazing. But also looking forward, that's a 4K every month if they're keeping with it. If they're using that $1,000 to get new people thriving, that's just growing their team even more. And on that training, on the Super Saturday training, they talked a lot about a lifestyle getaway in 2021. I mean, who wants to go on a free trip? Like, this leader retreat is exciting. Yes, we have to work for it. Yes, I can only take 6 people. But we're just going to an Airbnb in the middle of nowhere so we can bond and learn from each other and train. But when we go on a lifestyle getaway, the earliest rank they let go is a 4K. You want to be 4K at least, so that you can earn a trip. So if you're already 4K, you're already working towards that 12K. When the qualifications come out, if 4K is the first rank they will allow to go, then you are in the running for it. So let's get these people from brand promoters to 4K to 12K before 2021. That way we can all celebrate together on the beach, somewhere tropical, all inclusive, free food, free. I can't even express to you guys how excited I am to have a team to go with. It's always been like me going with Tammy and her other leaders, and Courtney got to come one time, but usually I don't have anyone from my team who earns this. So I'm so excited to get to celebrate with you guys somewhere sunny and warm with bottomless drinks. So let this be the foundation for that, because when that does come, we all want to have our mindset right and our goals together and be able to run for this. Usually qualifications are a rank for 2 out of 3 months, but you also need X amount of customers and X amount of promoters. So if we're already in the VIP mindset, we're already bringing in new customers, we're already bringing in new promoters, it will be a cakewalk to qualify for those trips. So use your waiting room to help people get to those ranks. They are so exciting when you have somebody who hits a rank. It is so fun to celebrate, to push with your leaders, to tell them, like, you can do this, let's do this together. You're $300 away from 4K. Who can we talk to? Use this month-end magic to get you there. So if anyone is watching and have questions about the waiting room, put it in the chat. I'm going to move on to Red Legs while I got you on the phone. Or on the Zoom. So red leg and why it's important. Yes, I will help you with your waiting room this month. No problem. And also, if you're watching this and you have a waiting room and you don't know what to do with it, I love waiting room, looking at the waiting room. Dawn, I know you had questions about yours. I haven't got to look at it yet because I was prepping for this Zoom. But as soon as we get off here, I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to pull up what you've got and your people. Obviously, yes, we will wait until the 26th, but I will look at what you're suggesting, all that good stuff. Anyone else who's watching this, if you have volume in your waiting room and you don't know what to do with it, please let me know. Another example is with Dawn. Last month, she had a lot of waiting room volume, and I actually encouraged her not to move it because I knew that this month she would have people in there that she could help, and she does. So this is going to be so exciting. Okay, so the red legging, it affects your qualified volume, but does it affect your commission? It only affects your commission when it comes to your rank. So for example, let me see who I can give. Russell, okay? My husband has all of Shantae's volume under him, right? But it's been placed under him, it's not real, but let's just pretend that Shantae was his actual person. He has more than $20,000 in volume, but he is not considered a 4K because he hasn't even made up her red leg balance. So actually, let me see if I can pull this up to screen share with you guys. I'll even show you, I don't care. Let's see here. You don't earn your rank if you're not a balanced team. So if you're trying to be 4K, and I know you know that there's a little red exclamation point. If you're red-legged, it will tell you you're being red-legged. If you have $4,000 in volume, but most of that comes from a red leg, you're actually not 4K. That's where it would affect your commission. But if you were trying to go for 12K and you're only at 8,000 and you're being red-legged, it does not affect your commission. Let me know if that makes sense. Because you're not in a new rank, you're not 12K, the only way it would affect your commission is if you weren't balanced as a 4K. And I'm even gonna give you this example. We red-leg Tammy's team because our team is so strong, but she still gets paid on every single order from this team. Anything we do, she still gets commission for. If she gets to 200K in volume, she won't be an actual 200K rank unless she balances us out because we red leg her. So her commission's not changing because she's not 200K in volume yet. She's not, even if she gets to $210,000 in volume, if she's not 200K rank, she's just getting her pay based on her 80K rank instead of a 200K rank. So she still gets paid, you still get paid, but you don't get paid as your rank unless your team is balanced. So let me know if that makes sense to you, like how it would affect your commission. Your commission only changes when it comes to your actual rank. I'm gonna pull up Russell's Cloud Office while I'm sitting here. I know that it can be confusing. Why is this not coming up? Come on, there we go. Let's see if I can share my screen with you guys. Share. Okay. Tay, you're the only one I can see. So can you see a Cloud Office on your screen? Okay. Russell. Look, it says next rank 4K VIP. It shows that he's 92% towards 4K. He has been 4K before, so he wouldn't qualify for the credits, or I would really be hustling his account, but I'm going to anyway because he's only $300 away from actually being 4K. But wait till you see his volume, guys. Let's see. $25,920 in volume is what he has. That is crazy. He is only getting paid on his $3,696 in volume because that is where he's not red-legged. This right here where it says excess strong leg QV, it tells you how much he's being red-legged and then how much he's being paid for. It literally says paid rank. So it says right here, highest rank 4K. Right now he's being paid as a brand promoter. And it tells you this is how much volume he has, but most of it's coming from Shantae, so he's not getting paid on all of that. Now, if I went through and worked his account, I could get him, you know, more of a paycheck. But my focus usually is my team personally, what I can do there. So let's see here. Placement downline. Oh boy, I'm sure there's a lot. So you see how he has a ton of people here? That's because most of them are people who either A, just clicked the promoter button without ever even ordering, just because they were playing around on his website or my website, and they clicked the promoter button, but they were just messing around. I don't want them in my downline. I'm gonna stop screen sharing so I can explain this to you and you can see me and I can see you. I don't want my my cloud office, my placement downline to look like that. That just looks like a whole bunch of names that have zeros. And to me, that looks sloppy and it looks blah. So I have that anytime somebody either clicks promoter and doesn't want to promote, or they just ordered the promoter pack and they're never going to do anything. They're just going to be a non-promoting promoter and they're just going to do it a silent person, whatever. People who I just think, or they flat out say, I'm not promoting, I can't make money with this because I'm on disability and I can't make more than this amount of money, anything like that. I just moved to him because he is just, it's like a, let's just move all this volume over here. So a lot of those are there just for that reason. But you see, that is something that you can do. Okay, so if you have a spouse's account and you just have people in your waiting room and you're like, this person's never gonna do anything, just move them to your spouse, done, over with. That's why all of those people are there. But it actually shows you, let's see here. It actually shows you, we're actually under Sonia Whalen. So this is really funny because when we first started and we were so new, Tammy placed Jamie Short under me because she was going to be a non-promoting promoter who was only going to get her Thrive every month, and that was it. And then so Jamie was placed under me, and then she decided, you know what, I want an auto bonus, and she decided to run with it. And so Sonia is actually Jamie's person who she placed under me. That's a long story, I know. But 95% of his volume is coming from Sonia. And so I am pretty positive what happened for Shantae to get placed under Sonia is Sonia was close to a goal. And we moved Tay under him, under her, to help her get to a goal. So that's where you have to really be careful. You just honestly do never know when it's somebody's time and they want to hit the ground running. So if you put them under somebody who is really working, you wouldn't have an issue. Oh, I don't know what's happening here. If you put somebody under somebody who is working, it will be fine. If you put them under just because to get rid of the volume and they turn into a promoter who wants to run, you just have to be prepared for that. If you have somebody placed under you who's working and you're scared that they're gonna red leg you, run harder. Like, use that as your motivation. Don't let that discourage you. That is a blessing. When somebody is challenging you because you might get red-legged, that's when you step up your game and you run, because that just means you have a rock star on your team. You never, ever, ever want to discourage your rock star. Like, you want them to run because you obviously have the potential to do the same thing. So use volume as a gift to give to somebody who is pushing, who you know isn't going to be like, well, I can't do this, they're red-legging me, and that's it. If Russell was actually promoting, he would probably be mad that I put all these people under him to help them get to their goals. But he's not. He's just a dummy account. It's just, that's where I order my product from every month, and then that's about it. So hopefully that makes sense with the commission. No, it doesn't change unless you're trying to get to a rank. Once you get to a rank, you want to have a balanced team. So my back office is not red-legged, so this team is good. Like, our volume is pretty steady. I've got, like, you know, you want to balance out and have 4 strong legs. So you don't want to have like 10 different level 1s in your placement downline. It's best to have 4. You want 4 strong legs that you can balance every month. And you can move people. I wouldn't move them more than 4 levels down. But for example, if Tay had a person in her waiting room with $200 and Dawn had nobody in her waiting room, but she had a level 1 under her who was really close, Tay could put it under that person. You can move people 2 and 3 levels down. So keep that in mind too. If you're trying to help somebody, there's been a time or two where I'd reach out to somebody and say, I know you're killing it, but you don't need another level 1. Who do you have that's a level 1 that I could send volume to? So you can work it that way too. If you have a level 2 or a level 3 who's really working it, and you have a new promoter from this $400 promoter pack deal that you can help somebody with their volume, you can go further down than just your level 1. So use this as a tool. This is like the #1 best thing that we have in our cloud office. You know, you guys already know the company is amazing with their promotions and the VIP period and the auto bonus. Like, this company has set us up so good. We are so lucky to be able to move people around like this and help people with their volume. Just remember, it does not hurt your commission to move people. It just helps somebody else get closer to their rank when it comes to volume. So that person doesn't get the commission. You get the commission. So another thing to think about too is if you're earning a rank based solely on placement volume because somebody just wanted you to be a 4K and they placed 4 different leaders under you and then you're 4K to have bragging rights, that's great, but you're not going to be getting paid as good as you would if you actually earned that rank and those people were you. So that's another reason why you don't want to send, you know, $8,000 in volume to someone to get them to 12K. Yeah, they're going to get their auto bonus, but they're not going to get paid that well because the person who's sponsoring them is getting the commission from those people. They're not getting it. They're, you know, we're not both going to get all the commission. Only your sponsorship person gets the commission. So keep that in mind also when you're moving volume. If you keep trying to help somebody every month, they're not going to be as excited because they don't see how their paycheck is changing because their paycheck's not changing. You want them to really see when they move up a rank, wow, that paycheck was good. How was that paycheck, Shantae, when you moved up to 12K? Yes, awesome. It is so awesome. So let's do this. Don't anybody move your volume without speaking to your upline. Please reach out to me if you have questions with yours. Send me a picture of your waiting room. We can work together to see who we can help. I love doing this. Month-end magic is the bomb, and especially when $1,000 in credits are on the line. So let's see how many people we can get on that leaderboard. I'm so proud of you guys. You guys are really stepping up this month. So this is so exciting. I'm going to save this recording. I will post it in the team page and all that good stuff so you can share with your teams, and we will have it for future reference. Even though we won't always have $1,000 in credits for 4K, this is still amazing information. So I hope you guys are having a good day, and let's do this. Bye.